What's up guys, Jordan here from SwitchWatch with today's review of one of the most highly anticipated Switch games this year, Luigi's Mansion 3. And oh my god, I'm in love. Luigi's Mansion 3 opens with the Mario Bros, Peach and a couple of Toads on their way to an invitation to stay at a hotel. Once there, things immediately take a turn for the worst as the true nature of their stay becomes apparent. Because, well, it's a trap! Only Luigi is free to fight the ghouls that have captured his friends, and he makes it his mission to save them as he climbs the hotel floor by floor. The story is actually very good, at least for a Mario game. It flows nicely and you're always making progress. The countless cutscenes are absolutely filled to the brim with charm, personality and humor that really makes it an interesting story. Even if dialogue is limited, you'll be laughing and awing at every opportunity here. It is a very lovely story. I should just make it perfectly clear, despite having a GameCube around launch time, my family never actually got Luigi's Mansion. I think my dad saw how long it was and was like, nope. And to this day, I've never played it. But I loved Luigi's Mansion 2 on the 3DS, with one of my takeaways from that game being I wished everything took place in one large mansion, rather than a handful of smaller ones. Well, it looks like my wish was answered. Luigi's Mansion 3 follows the formula that came before it. Luigi cowardly wanders around these floors of this giant hotel to explore and capture the ghoulies that are haunting it with the help of the eccentric Dr. Egad. If you've played the series before, you'll feel right at home when the controller is in your hands. You're in this hotel, but you can't immediately shoot straight to the top where you would assume the climax of the game would take place. Instead, you need to collect missing buttons from the elevator bit by bit. It's a cute way of finding a progression blocker for the player. Each floor has either a major boss or mini boss to take down to get your hands on those sweet elevator buttons to keep on making progress. What will instantly strike you about this hotel is just how utterly bizarre and unbelievable of a hotel it actually is. If you've seen the trailers, you know what to expect: pirates, Egyptians, discos, plus plenty of other surprises to make this a place feel more like a fairground attraction, which does put into question the point of a hotel setting. But you're playing a Luigi's Mansion game, so of course you just roll with it. Each of the themes are excellently realized, bite-sized, and numerous enough to never outstay their welcome. I kind of wish the trailers hadn't spoiled so much though, as each new floor is a delight and would have had much more impact if I hadn't already been aware of them beforehand. That's also a reason why I'm not showing you too far past, say, like the first 4 or 5 hours, because the reveals and encounters truly need to be played by yourself rather than ruined by watching cut segments in a trailer. Each floor has multiple puzzles to solve that aren't the most difficult in the world, but always enough to make you have to think a little and then feel good about yourself once you realize what the game wants you to do. Many of them will make heavy use of the abilities Luigi has in his arsenal, whether to hover for a short time, shoot a plunger into something and pull, and primarily making use of Gooigi, Luigi's gelatinous doppelganger, which can be summoned by clicking the right analog stick in. Gooigi is very useful as a tool for accessing locations that normal Luigi can't, and especially those with danger present. He can slip through iron bars or grates and even casually walk through spikes, and this mechanic of controlling 2 people will play out heavily. At first, I was incredibly worried that this would be one of those features where the single player is manageable, but multiplayer heavily recommended, kind of like Triforce Heroes, you know, the Zelda game on 3DS. But no, this is more than acceptable to be playing by yourself. You do not need, or do you feel like you're missing on something by playing alone if you're a sad bugger like myself. Aside from ghost busting, there are some trickier puzzles going on if you want to grab all of the collectible gems that are hidden around each floor. They can be pretty tough to find, and in my leisurely but thorough playthrough, I actually only managed to find about half of them per floor. And grabbing all of them will add some serious mileage to your playtime of what is already a fairly generous game with 20 hours worth of story mode alone. I don't think I can state enough just how wonderfully effortless this game is to play. And I don't mean because it's easy, well, there is that, but just how it feels like it's been put together with the utmost care, deliberation, and love. Everything about the game oozes personality, whether Luigi gets spooked opening up a drawer, or his reactions to the many amazing boss fights, or the amount of secrets and Easter eggs to find. It's just a proper game. This is what AAA games should be. Forget your live services, your loot boxes, your in-game seasons. This is a proper game. In an alternative world where the timeline was correct and developers actually cared more about being creative and fun over making all the money in the world, Luigi's Mansion 3 would be the model game. It is what games should aspire to be. I mean, during my time with Luigi's Mansion 3, there were only 2 things that actually bothered me about the game that I thought were flaws. one minor and one of medium annoyance. The minor one was just how easy it can be, especially at the beginning. The bosses are tough, but the standard ghosts take a while before they become anything resembling a challenge. The slightly more severe thing is the money. In Luigi's Mansion, you get a lot of money, like absolutely stacks of it, but there's not really a lot you can do with it. You can purchase aids to help you track down gems or give you an extra life, but most players will not need or want these. In fact, I didn't buy any. I kind of wish there were costumes to buy or trinkets to purchase, like maybe fill your hotel room up with them, I don't know, just something to use your money on. It's a shame because often finding the most awesome of little secrets in this hotel will just award you some money rather than anything meaningful. But thankfully the game is so charming and so wonderful that just finding the secret itself is the reward. There are multiplayer options here, plenty of them too, which I'll go over very briefly. Firstly, in the story mode, a second player can take control of Luigi, which is fun but not necessary. Then there's the Scare Scraper, which is an online mode for 4 people, following on from the same kind of mode that was in Luigi's Mansion 2. You work your way up the floors, completing a few simple tasks on each stage, and then there's Scream Park, which is a 4v4 on the same console, which is kind of like a mini-game thing. Robust options for those who love a good multiplayer twist on things, although not for me personally. So, Luigi's Mansion 3 had a lot to prove. Both previous games, while big for their respective times, will still be considered like a secondary tier release by most gamers. Luigi's Mansion 3 needs to be one of the touchstones of the Switch, now that it's on a home console once again, away from the tech demo-esque of the original and the bite-sized functionality of the 3DS sequel. For many, this will be the Luigi's Mansion experience, and thankfully, it is easily the best, and also, not only that, but one of the best Switch games, full stop. Before we get into the other parts of this review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new here for all the latest Switch reviews, as well as a weekly series like all physicals and bargains. Plus, once we hit 50,000 subscribers, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch Lite and Link's Awakening to one of you. Okay, let's head into the presentation, which I'm equally enthusiastic about, because Luigi's Mansion is an absolute stunner. Despite its cartoony look, Luigi's Mansion 3 is possibly the best looking game on the system in terms of quality. The details, the art style, and the actual tech behind it make it a game that all other Switch games need to look up to. Next level games have crafted something that even Nintendo's internal development teams should take notes on. Transitions between gameplay and cutscenes is seamless. Nothing is compromised at all. Lines are smooth, no jaggies, it's clear and crisp and pops off your screen with so much personality and character. The lighting is just phenomenal too. I almost couldn't believe they'd managed to get something this gorgeous running on the Switch. Same can be said for handheld mode too. And as for performance, it's mostly perfect as far as I could tell. The audio is equally wonderful. The composer has done a fine job in oozing out the atmosphere. It's creepy, twinkling, and totally on point when it comes to different themes. I'm not going to dwell on it too long because the music and the general audio design speaks for itself, but when you're facing off against the security guard ghost early on, and the music has that subtle 70s cop show vibes going on, and the boss itself is doing over-the-top exaggerated rolls around the battlefield, it just comes together wonderfully in both audio and visuals, and oh my god, I'm just in love with this game. On the eShop, Luigi's Mansion is an expected $60 in the US, £50 in the UK, and €60 in Europe. Although if you're quick to buy, you can get 10% back, which is basically a nice free game. I think it's worth it. The production value gone into it means it's a proper AAA title in my eyes. Plus, if you play the online modes, there's definite potential to get far more than your money's worth if you get hooked on that. Personally, it's not something I have time for, but even then, I still think I got my money's worth with my physical purchase, which is cheaper, of course. I would say that's the best way to go, especially for something like this. If you're gonna buy this and you want to support the team at the same time, then consider clicking the affiliate links below in the pinned comment and description. It would help us out massively. Overall, Luigi's Mansion 3 is a great success. I will freely admit, before playing the game, I wasn't overly excited by it. I just thought it was just, a regular solid Nintendo title. But my word, I instantly fell in love. It provides an incredibly unique experience, unavailable elsewhere. It has it all: exploration, inventive puzzles, charm, adventure, single player, and seamless multiplayer integration in one complete package that feels like it's been cooked until it was very much perfect. The complete antithesis to most AAA titles that gamers have to suffer through these days. This is a proper game. Plus, it's stunning to look at and to listen to. It's a game every Switch owner should have, and I'm sure it will stand proudly toe-to-toe with the best games on the system when we all look back in 10 to 20 years from now. Next Level Games have taken this series to the next level. Any gripes I have with it are minor at best, with only the cash system being the one sticking point for me. But I can easily say that at the time of making this video, Luigi's Mansion is my game of the year so far, a 9.5 out of 10. If you're looking for something else this week, then head over to watch my weekly physicals video telling you all the physical games available in this monster week. You might want to remortgage your house. Also check out our bargains video and also one of our latest Switch reviews. We'll see you guys over there. Take care.